Di Canio, what a character, what a play. He was some footballer.
Oh, he's amazing, amazing.
He was Spandau Ballet balmy. Absolutely. He said all the way here, I've been listening to the music. It's all he used to listen to.
Well, I don't even listen to myself. He makes up for it.
He loved you. He absolutely loved you, Tony.
Stars, cars, guitars.
Hi, this is Tony Hadley having a little cup of tea, but more importantly, I'm having a chat with a real hero of mine. What a chap, what a guy. We've both been in the jungle. I'm delighted, absolutely delighted to welcome to Stars, Cars and Guitars, Harry Redknapp. How are you, mate? You okay?
Yes, I'm good, Tony. All good, mate. Thank you.
I was trying to remember when we last saw each other, and it was some time ago. If I remember rightly, tell me if I'm wrong. Wembley, when they were giving away bits of Wembley turf, and Pele was there. And you were there with all the family. Was that?
Yeah.
Am I about right?
Yes. Yeah.
But with the COVID thing going on as it is, it's been difficult to see anybody. I mean, how are you guys doing?
We've been lucky. If you've got a garden and whatever, you can get outside. You know, to be stuck in a high-rise block of flats must be difficult for people.
Because you met, I'm going to say, well, you met Sandra. You've been 50 years. You've been together.
55. Yeah. 50. Well, bleeding hell. I think we've been, you're clumping. I think we've been married 53 years, but we started going out, we were 17. I mean, we were just, I was a young apprentice, I was a young player at West Ham, and Sandra was a hairdresser in Barking, and no interest in football. And the amazing thing was, Tony, about 2 weeks after I took Sandra out, Frank Lampard came into training. Frank was about a year younger than me. And he said, I took a girl home last night, Harry. He said, you know her sister. He said, you've been going out with her sister, Sandra. I said, he took Sandra's sister out. They'd never been to football. They come from absolutely non-footballing family. Their dad never went to football. He was a big docker, but he strangely wasn't interested in football. So we just absolutely met independently and ended up marrying. We got married to two sisters, me and Frank, who really had no interest in football.
It's something like nearly 150 games you played for West Ham.
Yeah, I think 170 or whatever in the end.
Wow.
I think but it's a bit different in Tony. You had no subs either. You know, you either played or you didn't play. Nowadays, you can get appearances by being subs and whatever. But no, I went there and so let's call it 14, actually. I went there at 14 years of age when I left school. And Ron Greenwood was the manager. And we had people like Bobby was there, Bobby Moore. Bobby was already captain of the club, even though he was only 21.
Wow.
Jeff was there, Jeff first, Martin Peters. So, yeah, it was a great time to go there. And, I grew up playing against, and then the people at Arsenal like John Radford and John Samuels and all them lads were at Arsenal coming through the youth team at the same time. Peter Storey, he was scary. Peter Storey, he was dangerous. My God. Remember him, really? Peter Storey, yeah. Played at Arsenal. He was, and then so it was a great time, to go there, and we were all local lads. It was very different in them days, Tony. There was no money in the game. We earned no money, but we loved it. It was fantastic. We were all great pals. We all come from the same. I bet nearly everybody in the team grew up within sort of 8 or 10 mile radius of the football ground. We was all like from East London boys, really, Poplar, Stepney, that's where we lived all our lives. My mum and dad still lived there till they passed away. They wouldn't move out the East End. They were stuck, they were there and it was home for them. They wouldn't move. They were in a block of flats, but you couldn't get them out of there. That was their life, that's where they were born.
Really?
Yeah.
My nan and granddad were in the Michael Cliff flats on the 21st floor.
Yeah.
And I remember those days really well. And we'd never been in a lift that high. And, around our area, you used to have like 3 families living in the house. And if you wanted to get a bath, we were lucky we had a bathroom in our house, but a lot of families had to go down to the washing baths and more hot water in number 9 and all that kind of stuff.
I was telling my grandkids the other day, and our bath, we lived upstairs when I was young in my grandmother's old house in the East End, and our bath was hanging on the wall in the yard. It was a tin bath, and it used to come in once a week, I think, and my mum would boil the hot water in the kettle and fill up the bath with it, and that was your bath night, another world, really. It's hard to explain to people.
I mean, you're a bit older than me, but I was born only 15 years after the end of the Second World War. I mean, opposite my mum and dad's house was a bomb site. And when you try to explain to young people sort of what it was like growing up, we had a communal front door, 2 other families in the same place. We had an inside toilet, which was luxury from where we were living. And my mate, old Roy Harold, on number 33 Great Percy Street, 3 whole families living in the house, outside toilet. And the only reason we had a bathroom because my dad was a bit handy. He worked for the Daily Mail. He was an electrical engineer. So he would always, he was quite good at DIY and all that malarkey.
And what area was that, Tone?
That Angel Islington.
Angel, so that's why you're a big Arsenal man. You're on the doorstep there. Well,
my dad's flat, where my nan used to live, little Nanny Hadley, you could see the corner flag of Highbury. Yeah. So pretty much all my family were Arsenal supporters, and apart from a few Tottenham.
I went to Tony. My dad was Arsenal barmy. So from the age of 6, 7, every week he took me to Arsenal. Went to Arsenal, and I remember going to an away game, FA Cup. I think it was a quarter final, Sheffield United away, and the fog came down. Jack Kelsey broke his arm, the goalkeeper. We couldn't see a thing from where we were. How they played the game, I'll never know, but it was thick fog. But we went everywhere watching Arsenal. We loved the game. My dad was Arsenal mad, and I was the same,
Did you know at the time that that's what you wanted to be a pro player?
Oh, absolutely, Tony. My dad was a good non-league player, but he was football mad, and we loved it, So, leaving school at 11, I went to Tottenham. I played for East London schools, and the Tottenham scout asked me to go to Tottenham training Tuesday and Thursday nights, and I did that for a couple of years. And then when I left school, it's funny, I could have gone to Arsenal, and West Ham, Chelsea, all the London clubs, but West Ham always had a policy of producing their own kids, People like Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Martin, all came out. Everybody came through the youth team at West Ham. And I thought, well, you'll get a chance there. They weren't a big money spending club, so that's why I decided to go to West Ham. And it was it was most of the people where I lived were actually West Ham fans, Tony, in the East End. I was one of the only very few Arsenal fans around there.
To be honest, I've always had a soft spot for West Ham. Arsenal, West Ham has always been my sort of second team. And I played a charity match, a few years ago now. And a few years ago at West Ham's ground. And Ray Winston, have you ever met Ray?
Oh, I know Ray, yes.
Oh, he's a mad amateur. I mean, he absolutely loves West Ham. And he's a geezer, isn't he? And, and I played against him. And Trevor Brooking was in the opposing team as well. Yeah. I nutmegged Trevor Brooking, and I really clouted Ray Winston. And he went to get up to give me a whack, and then realised that we were playing a charity football match.
Brilliant. They can get out of hand them games at times, can't they?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the players in those days, I know a lot of players that their knees are shot to pieces because they were getting steroid injections all the time. And now it's I think when Arsene Wenger came along, he sort of brought a lot of science into the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you were, he made sure, people were fit to play and had, a very scientific approach Arsene brought to the game. Very, very different, And I know as an Arsenal man, when you look at that team there, I mean, what a team they had over them years, didn't they?
Amazing.
Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp. Tony Adams. Where would you, what a captain, what a leader, Tony Adams. I mean, incredible, wasn't he?
He was, and he's also just such a good bloke. I got into trouble with him, actually, Tony. We were... where were we? We were at a car show. I think we were at the Earl's Court car show or something like that, and bumped into him. All right, Tone. So we got in the bar, as you do. Yeah. Anyway, so having a few, I said, Tone, I've got to go. My wife's got people coming around. But oh no, just have another one. All right, I'll have another one. And then it was another one. By the time I got home, I was in so much. No. I was in so much. Oh,
I mean, they laugh about. They used to have, because I did the program with Ray Parlour and David Seaman last year. We did this. We went out on the old footballers. We went and played the Germans. You know, it was great.
I saw that. It was brilliant. Yeah, that was much fun.
I loved doing it. And we were talking. You know, and they were saying about the old days at Arsenal. And Ray was saying, you know, I think it was the Tuesday Club or whatever they called it. They'd go out on Tuesday and they'd drink till God knows what time in the morning. You know, and yet they were winning everything, weren't they? It was just amazing, really, how they did it, you know?
I mean, Brian Hornsby, who used to play for the Arsenal, great pal of mine, he runs the Arsenal X11 celebrity team. But he was telling me that, like, sometimes the managers, you say, right, I'm going to book a hotel for the weekend, you know, after the match or whatever, put masses of booze in the corner. Lads, fill your boots, have a laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was your way of getting a bit... You know, we'd go to Cheltenham races, Tone. You know, get the bus, get a coach.
Yeah.
Off we'd all go, have a day out, go to Cheltenham, get a box or somewhere, a bit of hospitality. And, like, you know, it was like team building. You know, that's how we did it, really. And the Liverpool lads who were winning all them trophies, you know, with Kenny and Alan Hansen and that great team. I mean, they could get on the booze. I mean, they were. You know, it would have been a toss-up then, I think, between them and the Arsenal boys who would have won. But they were two fantastic football teams.
Well, I mean, that's the weird thing about the music business. It's the only business I know where people, you know, you go, you know, most jobs you work for a bank or whatever, and you've got the various rules that you've got to abide by. But like in the football game, well, in the past, and in the music, yeah, fancy a beer, fancy a bottle of wine, you know, before you've done a day's work or anything. It was just it's a whole different culture.
Yeah.
To be a footballer, you've got to be so disciplined, and your work ethic has got to be, it's something else. You guys are unbelievable. I take my hat off to the discipline that you put into your sport. We just sing a few songs. No, it's a bit more than that.
But it's all changed, though, Tony, isn't it? The last, you know, now they do look after it. I think we used to live hard. We'd go out drinking or whatever, but I think we trained very, very hard as well. You know, people like Bobby Moore, every Sunday. Moore would go out on Saturday night and he'd go out with Tina and they'd get in, have a good drink. He used to come in every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. He'd be in the football ground, which wasn't, you know, there was no just a physio in with a few injured players. He'd put a bin liner, put a couple of jumpers over the top, and he'd go and do a dozen laps. Come in, do his sit-ups, do his bodies every Sunday. You know, he'd have a drink Saturday night, play Saturday, drink Saturday night, but Sunday morning he'd come and sweat it all out of him, you know? And that was how it was really in them days.
One of the things, I don't know how you feel, well, I've got a few friends that their kids got picked up for the academies and they sign these young kids at a young age, 9, 10, 11, 12, and after a year, 2 years, they're not good enough, and that's it, they're gone. And these families, a mate of mine, and they were like, yeah, my son signed for the Arsenal. And when the kid got dropped, he never ever played football again. Yeah. And I you know, that happens a lot, doesn't it, these days?
Tony, I listened to a programme the other day on the radio, and they were talking about, on TalkSport, talking about 99% of kids who get signed on by clubs, a 99% failure rate. 99%, 1% actually makes the grade.
Huge.
Of all these kids, and they sign them on at 7, 8. I've got my pal, his grandkids. I mean, he would tell you, he said, he's at Bournemouth. And he says to me, Harry, he's not particularly good, but Bournemouth took him on. They sign him on there so they can do their boots up properly. I mean, you know, they're just in case they might be any good. It's like throw the net out and you might get one, you know, and that's how it works. It's for the kids, it must be so disheartening, you know.
Well, I mean, I feel the same. I just think that it's heartbreaking when you see the kids, and it's the same, you know, when they go on the X Factor or The Voice and they say, oh, you're good, you are. I could see you playing Wembley Arena in a year's time. And you're thinking, hold it a minute, mate. Do you know how difficult it is to play Wembley Arena? How difficult it is to play for West Ham or Portsmouth, Bournemouth, you know, Spurs, whatever. And it's and it just destroys a lot of the kids. You know, I think it's Very, very, very difficult. Because you've got, is it 5? You've got 5 grandchildren?
7. We've
7?
got 7. Yeah, 7, yeah. Mark's got 5 kids and Jamie's got 2 boys.
That's it.
They're okay. I mean, you know, one of them, the little ones at Chelsea, one of Jamie's kiddies. The oldest one, Charlie's a rugby player. He plays rugby for the Cats. He loves his rugby. But yeah, and one of my grandkids with my other son, Mark, is at Bournemouth Academy. Sadly, he's leaves school. He's got another 2 years, and whether he gets signed on, I wouldn't be sure, Tony. He loves it. He enjoys it. He's okay. Got a little chance.
I've got to tell you a quick story. So Garry Mabbott, Mabsy, he's a lovely, lovely man, really lovely guy. So he invited me to Tottenham Arsenal, wasn't it? You know, so we're there in his enclosure and everything else. And all the fans are down below. All the Tottenham fans are down below. And I'm sitting there and I'm having a little beer and stuff. And yeah, it's all lovely. And no one has looked at me or anything. Not that I expected anyone to look at me, but I thought I might get a bit of abuse. But not anything, not a sausage. No. Until Spurs went 1-0 up. And a whole 1,000 people turned around and went, "How do you feel, you goon?"
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Oh. It is a nightmare, isn't it?
But it was funny, though. I mean,
no, as long as the banter's fun, it's not a problem, is it? Do you know what was amazing? When I was at West Ham, Paolo Di Canio, he caught the ball at Everton, right? The goalkeeper got injured. We crossed the ball. We're drawing 1-0. We need the points. Paolo, for some reason, decided to be a good sportsman and caught the ball so the goalkeeper, the boy Gerard, could get treatment. And anyway, he won an award for the best sportsman of the year for his sport, you know, for stopping the game. And so anyway, we've got to go and he wins a trophy. And so he is Spandau Ballet Barmy, Di Canio. His whole life, you get in his car all day. Spandau, when they came to Rome or somewhere in Italy, the first day he said, I bought the ticket. I went they decided to do a second day. I'm climbing over the wall. I have no ticket. They're hitting me with truncheons, the police, hitting me, trying to pull me down. He was absolutely balmy. And I forget which one of the boys it was who presented him with a trophy now.
I can't remember.
They came along and presented him, surprised him. He's sitting in a restaurant in the West End, and we come in and he's got the trophy. He was Spandau Ballet Barmy. Absolutely. He said, all the way here, I've been playing on my seat all the way listening to the music. It's all he used to listen to.
Well, I don't even listen to myself. He makes up for it.
He loved you. He absolutely loved you, Tony. Di Canio, what a character, what a play. He was some footballer.
Oh, he's amazing, amazing. Well, when we did our last reunion tour, I think 2014, 2015, something like that, we were in Italy and we got the message, Paolo Di Canio wants to come to, and he bought a ticket and he came in and I said, what'd you buy a ticket for? I said, just, you'll get your people to contact my people. Here's my number, whatever. And no, I bought a ticket. Anyway, he brought in, I can't tell you how many bottles of, fine wine.
Yeah.
Fine wine.
Brilliant.
Must have been 24 bottles, 12 bottles of beautiful red wine and 12 bottles of beautiful wine. And we said, honestly, Paolo, you don't have to do that. We don't need presents. No, I do it for you. I love a Spandau.
Oh, yeah, Spandau Ballet. He was balmy. He absolutely loved you.
He's a really...
Tony, I would say one, Tony, I love listening to you. You're a proper singer. I could listen to you. When I've been to funk, you sing. You can sing. You are proper. And I love your voice. Mate. You're proper. And I ain't just saying that. You know, you're right up my street, Tony, the way you sing.
Well, I appreciate that. That's really sweet. Talking about music, well, what's your favourite stuff? What do you listen to if you've got a bit of time?
I'm Whitney, really. I'm Whitney Houston, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Celine Dion, really. That's Diana Ross this morning. I was in the gym doing a bit, and I have Diana Ross on this morning. I love all, they're They're really my type of music.
All the kind of classic singers. My ultimate hero in music was Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett.
Oh, Tony Bennett, my God. We got him, funny enough, he was on I put him on the other night. I got the old the other lunchtime, was my granddaughter. I said, play Tony Bennett, San Francisco. We got engaged to that.
Oh,
my
really?
Granddaughter said, where was your engagement, Pop? I went, it was at the Loxford Club in Barking High Road. It was a working men's club. And Sandra, I said, we had our wedding reception there as well, in the old working men's club in Barking High Road, Loxford Club. Sandra's dad was a member like there, and it was, Tony Bennett, Sinatra, that's what I love it, Tony, you know.
Well, I did manage to meet Sinatra when I was 17. I made my mum so jealous, I can't tell you.
Brilliant.
And he was absolutely delightful. I mean, I saw as many shows as I could, because his life, when you think about it, was just incredible. I probably read every book about him.
It's amazing world he must have lived in, mustn't it? It must have been incredible times, you know. But so when you see that, the Rat Pack and that, you know, a mate of mine had a beautiful picture. And it's got them walking down in Miami, walking along the front there, you know, got their suits on. But it was different, Tony. They all dressed smart, didn't they?
Yeah.
I loved it, you know. But I was saying to someone the other day, Tom, when I grew up in the East End, Saturday night, everybody put a suit on. We all put a suit on. And if you were skinned, my mates who worked wherever, you'd have your suit made to measure with whatever else you could afford. You'd always go and you'd get a mohair suit, shirt and tie, shoes polished, and off you went out Saturday night. You know, it was amazing times, really.
I tell you, a place I used to go when I was a kid was York Hall. Used to go and see the ABA boxing down there.
York Hall, yeah, absolutely. My dad never missed a show there, Tony. My dad would always go. Frank Warren used to look after my dad and get him a ticket, you know.
Well, I went to school with Robert Warren, Frank's younger brother.
Yeah.
He was a couple of years older than me. He always used to look after me. Robert's a great guy. And Frank, I saw last year. He's a terrific fella, really, because I used to live at Priory Green, just up the road from my mum and dad. And my mum's still there. She still lives at the Angel and everything. And my brother's at Highbury, sister Muswell Hill. But those fights at York Hall, my granddad used to take me because he used to know all the boxers and the trainers and everything else. And when you think about it, you used to walk in, everyone was done up to the nines. That's why I mentioned it, because everyone was dressed up. All the birds had the fox furs on, cigars, cigarettes, and the whole place was smoke-filled. And you got these young kids with no head protection, come and bob and weave. I mean, when you think about it now...
I know.
Oh.
Tough, lads, tough. What a tough sport, isn't it? And
it's
you
just
say
mental.
All dressed up, all the audience broken noses. That was only the women. Hey? Please, Neil, you wouldn't want to have a row with any of them.
Oh, different days.
Yeah, I love I used to see a fair bit of George Graham. George was... Because George we had a place in Marbella for a while, in Estepona, me and Sandra, and he was on the same development. So I used to see George when we went over. We always went out for dinner with him and his wife, Susie, you know. And him and Frank McClintock. What a man, Frank.
Ah, yeah, lovely. Well, George Graham and Pat Rice presented me when I used to play for the Arsenal X11, presented me with I got Player of the Year.
Brilliant.
I don't know how, Harry. I haven't got a clue where I got it, but I did get it. But listen, I've got to ask you a final question. Congratulations first. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Brilliant. Oh, by the way, you and Jamie on Ant and Deck the other night. Priceless.
It was funny.
Fantastic.
You had a laugh, I've never stopped laughing.
Well, they're such good guys, aren't they?
Characters, brilliant.
And obviously in the jungle, you won it. And I've been in it as well. You had a brilliant experience, though. You had such a great time. I had a great time, but apart from a certain lady, it was a pain in the butt. But that's enough of
Tony,
that.
do you know, Tony, I've never seen the show. If you said to me, I wouldn't know who had ever been in it because I'd never watched it, Tony.
You never watched it?
When they came to me and asked me to do it, I went, no. Anyway, they ended up offering me good money, and I was still weren't going to do it. And I played golf with Kevin Bond, who was my coach wherever I went, really. Well, Kevin was always with me. And I said, they've asked me to do I'm a Celebrity. I know you're not supposed to. I said, I'm not going to do it. I don't fancy it, you know. He said, Harry, you're mad. What an experience for you at your age. You know, what are you going to do all winter? You can't play golf every day. So I ended up doing it. But as you said, I was lucky. I had a nice group. But I wouldn't have seen your programme, Tone, because I've never seen anybody else. I've never watched a second of it. It was completely new to me.
Well, obviously we're big fans of it in our family, so we watched it religiously, me and the kids and stuff, and Al, my wife, and so we loved it. So they kept on asking me to do it, and I kept saying, no, I don't really want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then they kept putting the money up.
Yeah,
that always helps.
Yeah.
But then I'd done a big tour with Spandau. It was a big reunion to 214, 215. And I thought, well, I've got to finish my solo album and I've got to get back to my own bands as a solo artist. So what better vehicle than to be on primetime ITV? So I agreed to do it. Apart from this particular person in there, I loved every minute of it. It was brilliant fun. Did you enjoy all the food?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
You know, once I got settled into it at first, I must admit the first couple I thought I'm not going to last here because I don't know. Do you know, I twisted my knee on the first getting out the boat on the way to the camp and I was struggling a bit. I didn't feel particularly well. I felt like I had the flu or something and I was a bit under the, I thought, I'm not going to, you know. And then I said to them, when they're going to start voting us out, I thought you went out after the first couple of days you were in there. And I thought I could be out of here in 2 or 3 days, cop the money and have holiday in Australia with Sandra. But they went, no, the voting starts in about 10, 12 days or whatever. I went, you're kidding. So we got, you know, but once I got in there, they looked after me. I was with a really nice group of people, you know, Nick Knowles, who was there, John Barrymore, they were really lovely. And they were fantastic to me, you know.
I know Nick and John really well. I mean, I've got to say, John Barrymore, the funniest bit for me is when he came back, he had to go to hospital or something, and he came back and he came in singing, back in camp as ever. I kept playing it back because it was so funny. He is so much fun, and Nick's brilliant, and it was brilliant. I tell you the thing that you don't see is all the work that goes into, for instance, you've got to boil all the water, so you've got to go all the way down the bottom, get all the logs, keep the fire going. Yeah. And there's a whole sort of stream of things that you've got to do. Absolutely. But it was a brilliant, brilliant experience. I absolutely loved it. So
I'll have to watch Sandra and get it on catch up to see I want to see who this mystery person was who was aggravation.
Well, it was, you watch it and you tell me what you think. Give us a call on that one. But honestly, me and Duncan Ballantyne, top chap. And, did we cop for some grief or what? but we got to have it. But just very quickly, so I was getting to the point I wanted to get out because I had to go on tour straight after the jungle. So I wasn't going to see my family. So Ali and my 3 daughters were all in the Versace. Yeah. And I thought, I want to get out because I want a few days in the Versace, which was lovely. And, but the weird thing, and I don't know if you came across it as well, people getting quite upset about being away from home and stuff like that. Yeah. And I said to people, I said, listen, don't worry, your family's fine. They're in a 5-star hotel drinking white wine and having lobster and burgers.
Absolutely.
And we're eating a crocodile arm.
I know. The food was pretty horrendous, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. I lost a lot.
My God, it was the toilets and everything. It was.
No, I didn't like that.
It was a good experience, though, you know.
Oh, well, I'm glad you won it, mate. And listen, congratulations. Love to all the family. And thanks,
Tony.
Thanks for this, mate. Really great to chat to you.
Mate, and keep doing your great stuff. And I look forward to seeing you sometime.
Yeah, it'd be nice. When this is all over, it'd be nice to have a little... If I'm down your way and we're playing, I'm doing loads of gigs and stuff.
I'll be there.
If you and Sandra fancy coming along, be brilliant.
I would be
lovely.
There for sure.
All right, mate.
Good luck,
Thanks, mate. Cheers, Harry. Thanks, mate.
Bye, Tony. a lovely fella.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Found that ballet.
Yeah, he's brilliant. What a nice guy. Big Arsenal fan. Yeah, smashing.